I started using an electronic cigarette in January of 2009. I'd heard about it. It was something that sounded really cool, kind of a neat science fiction sort of thing. I was tired of paying a lot of money for cigarettes and smelling really bad and all the health problems that cigarettes cause, and I wanted to try something that I was able to still go through the motions of smoking without actually harming my body and spending so much money. I'm able to save a lot of money while still continuing to use the product and keeping the motion of the cigarette to the mouth and the smoke inhalation and all that without harming myself or spending a lot of money. My wife definitely likes me a lot more now that I don't smoke cigarettes. I use it indoors, and I use it in the car wherever I wouldn't normally smoke cigarettes, and nobody would ever know if they couldn't actually see me smoking. So there's no smell. That's the biggest thing. When I was smoking traditional cigarettes, my wife would know that I smoked, and she didn't smoke, so it was always pretty gross, really. Especially right after I smoked, so it was kind of a point of contention with, before bed or whenever I smoked if it was an issue. So once I started using the Colorado E-Smokes electronic cigarette, there's really no scent at all. So there's no foul breath or no smell in my clothes or my.
I'd go on break to have a cigarette, and I would walk by the booth probably like every time I did, and I kept looking. And I'm just kind of like, wondering what it's all about. I saw like the video with the female smoking in her living room, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
I came across it because I was at a band one night, at a show for a band, and the drummer was using it. So I kind of asked him about it, what it was, and he told me. And then I did some research on it, and I found online this company, Colorado E-Smokes.
electronic cigarette for about a year and a half, and I've stepped down from when I started on a high level of nicotine eventually to no nicotine at this point. So I use all 3 steps of medium, low, and no nicotine. So at this point I'm nicotine free. I have been for about 5 months at this point. There's not a lot of costs associated with buying cartridges and the refill liquid that you can continue to use the electronic cigarette as opposed to buying traditional cigarettes. I don't find as much of a financial investment day to day or week to week using the electronic cigarette and continuing to use it.
I definitely would say by far the best that I've tried. Well, just because of the realistic, I mean, like I said, I've tried the Nicotron inhalers. I've tried other, smoking cessation type products, but this one's by far the more realistic feeling product. So, you kind of feel like, you get all the benefits without the negative aspects.
Definitely feel physically and mentally different as opposed to regular cigarettes. Physically, I don't have a coughing fit every time I work out or run or strain myself at all. I don't have coughing fits just sitting there as I did with regular cigarettes. Mentally too, it's not as much of a craving and a satisfaction of that craving as it is a regular cigarette, especially now that I'm on no nicotine. It's just a feeling that I get, but I don't necessarily go batty like some people do, waiting for that time to smoke a regular cigarette.
I definitely, feel like I have a lot more energy, now that I'm not smoking.
I still go outside and smoke, at work or, if I'm out. And I meet smokers all the time. Generally, some people have heard of the product. Some people have never heard of the concept of the product. I notice the looks because I'll hold it like a regular cigarette and I'll smoke it like a regular cigarette. And I'll notice somebody, well before they say anything, I notice that they want to say something. And sometimes I'll be upfront and just say, what it is. But most of the time it's, what is that?